We are back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It's me, Dukect. Thank you so much for joining me here live on TalkShoe.com in the Dukect Lounge. So, okay. First things first, remember, you can find the show live. If you're not listening live, how dare you? You can find the show on YouTube.com under Dukect. Also on, I was about to say, but that's been dead for a long while. You can find me on BitChute, FreakinAwesomeNetwork.com, and on ManExpression.com, and on Podbean, iTunes, everywhere. So, let's talk some wrestling. More importantly, let's talk about some the road to WrestleMania. And a lot of people are quite upset at WWE for the past couple of weeks. First things first, a lot of people were pissed off at the, a couple match at the Super Showdown. I knew this was going to happen. I knew Goldberg was going to beat The Fiend. And a lot of people said The Fiend is dead. I'm like, first things first. Have anyone watched, these are the same people who say The Undertaker was dead after he lost to Hulk Hogan at Survivor after Tuesday in Texas. Oh, it was this Tuesday in Texas. People have been pissed off. Like, oh my gosh, The Undertaker was buried after that. First off, no, there's a story. Let's be honest. Fiend was going to take the L regardless. He was like, he wanted to go to WrestleMania. Fine. But people were going to cheer Roman. Weren't going to cheer Roman. They weren't going to cheer him. Because they wanted the Fiend to hold the belt forever. Even though, honestly, he's great. I like the Fiend, but he doesn't need a world title to be, legitimate. And he was going to lose eventually. And I'd rather have him lose to, an unstoppable monster Goldberg than a guy who never lost his champion. He never got a rematch. So why not have him win in a short match? You get a fun short match at WrestleMania, which I think, I'd rather have a fun short match with Goldberg and Roman, which I think I wouldn't be surprised it might steal the show. And then you have someone like Fiend and Cena, which do have a connection. And then later on, you can have Fiend versus Roman at SummerSlam or whatever. Have the Fiend beat Roman. Have him beat Roman clean before one of the main shows or whatever. You build that up for a while. Have Roman win, a couple matches and such. Buy him, this, that, the other. Build him up, and then have him lose maybe at SummerSlam against the Fiend. Or something like that. He starts to really doubt himself or something, saying he failed everybody. He failed the people, He said they can overcome this stuff, but no, he doesn't. And then have at least a couple months. He starts picking up victories again and build. Then next year, WrestleMania, you have the Fiend versus Roman at WrestleMania, or at the Royal Rumble to really, have maybe a 1 versus 1, that type Royal Rumble, and then it ends at Mania. Imagine that, a feud that ends at WrestleMania. Have it have a Firefly Funhouse match or whatever, that sort of thing. Something like that. It starts out there, and you have the weird puppets or whatever. Have it first start off as kind of like the Hollywood Backlot match between Goldust and I believe Roddy Piper. I know it was a little bit crazy, but yeah, that could have been a little more. I think that could have been interesting way you could do it if they did it right, and then it ends at the they don't do the same thing with the horror house. They don't have they drive up there and then end the match in the ring. No. They fight around the stuff and have the Funhouse be at you can set it up backstage, whatever, and then have 5 the match happens 10 minutes there, and weird stuff happens. Roman overcomes that fear, whatever, and then drives the match into the ring, beats Fiend, and in a very emotional and fun match. I don't know if it closes the show out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just spitballing, and it could be wrong. Could be the worst thing ever in my head. I know, whatever. But yeah, I think something like that would be much better than, well, Fiend versus Roman 101, and that's it. No, I mean, you build up a storyline or something like that. Or make it not a funhouse match, but no, like make it a false count anywhere match. That sort of thing. Have them fighting backstage, all this type of stuff. Something like that. That could be fun at WrestleMania. A good, fun match that ends it all. That's okay. How about that? And then you have what's going on with Ricochet, which first, it looks like it's going to be a storyline thing because he lost to Brock Lesnar, which surprised at Super Showdown. And then he lost to Riddick Moss for the 24/7 championship. And he's not looking good. He's not in a very big place at this point. He's not in a happy place. He's not there. So I think he's going to be in this loser type, mentality. And then, he hooks up with, say, MVP or whatever, and starts building himself up again, and maybe, becomes heel or whatever. So yeah, it's, I think there's something that they could, do, like, something like that, like, build something up later on for Ricochet. If they, and hopefully he can, I mean, the dude just does, I don't know why he's not, he seems comfortable when he's, like, talking regular, like, in these segments, like, to do pre-tape stuff, he seems fine there. But when it's live mic, he's terrible. I have my issue with Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens does have that passion and that type of connection with the audience. Ricochet, when he speaks, he just, oh boy, he loses everybody. I mean, he's just bad. If not, honestly, it makes me wish to listen to something like a Rey Mysterio promo. And Rey Mysterio is not really good at promos either. But yeah. So, I don't know. It's just like, dude just can't. Have MVP speak for him. I know it's copying Brock Lesnar and such and all, but I think you could do wonders with it. Heck, he could be a close feud with Drew if they build it up correctly. He said, well, they have Drew win against Lesnar. I'm not saying it'll be the first match no. I'm saying that stuff should be built up over time. He start winning matches, winning stuff, with all this stuff with Ricochet, and he becomes a lot more dangerous or whatever. He beats people and everything else. Do it like at SummerSlam, and then he kicks like he wins another contendership match. And then Drew McIntyre's like, hey, what's up? And he's still having that positive attitude, which hopefully that still won't bore the crowd. He kicks him Drew in the balls like he did Brock Lesnar, and then lays him out. MVP's like, yeah, I remember. I don't forget. That little that big kick you had laid on me earlier this year. You know what? It's time to pay up, man. That's what it is. Bam. Congrats. Then you go. You start building up with that MVP stuff in there. I don't know if you have him win or lose there, but you do build that up. You build it up, and there you go. You have a match, right? You have stuff like that with Ricochet. Who knows? So yeah, that's how people get. So that's how I would do it. I know people are pissed off. I mean, seriously, you go on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Oh, they canceled." I mean, yeah, I get the people who cancel WWE Network for this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff WWE has not liked. Super Showdown for one. What they're doing to Saudi Arabia, everything else there, the whole murky stuff there. I get that. Heck, I get the fact that you will quit WWE. The stories there. I mean, heck, some of the stories are not good. They're not that they're completely terrible. And heck, even what my belief that everything's like going to be just fine, the Fiends are fine, Fiend's going to be fine, Ricochet will be fine, whatever, all that stuff. WWE does not have the best track record with this. WWE does not have a good enough track record with the fans, and with good storytelling in the history of it, it just doesn't work. They don't have this type of they don't have. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't have okay, I believe they'll work it out. They'll figure it out. Like for example, I know the Washington Capitals They played mostly okay, and then they just got wilded by the Philadelphia Flyers. But you know what? I'm not worried because I know they have a system in place to fix these things out. Like, okay, I trust this team to figure this out, and I believe in that team. I believe in the people behind that team, not just the coaches, but the general managers, the people up top. WE, and I know that's sports, but I think it does have a mirroring effect, is that do you trust people? Do they trust the WE to do the right thing, to actually say the right thing in the storyline, or to say, okay, make these wrestlers compelling, interesting, and to make like, wow, compelling, interesting, and just fun to watch. And I don't trust them. I mean, most people don't trust them. Now, I'm not going as far as to cancel WE Network. I mean, where else can I find the great stuff back? The backlog, the backlog alone is amazing, and that to me, I'm just gonna watch that stuff and watch that. That's what I usually do sometimes when I have nothing to do. I sit back and I watch some old matches, and I think that's not really the worst thing in the world to watch some for $10 a month. It's not the worst thing to watch some old school WCW or old school USA. NWA or old school stuff from Florida Territory stuff. It's nice to see something like that, and I think that's good to see the history and everything else. I think that overall is a good thing. But if you feel that WE is just sliding you and everything else, and believe me, I've given a lot of reasons. I haven't watched most of the modern stuff. Again, I watch the old school stuff mostly. The only new stuff I watch are pay-per-views, and I just watched Monday Night Raw first time in a long while, and I was like, yeah, this is not good. In fact, the reason why I watched it, I couldn't stream. I couldn't do a live stream. I was going to do my Resident Evil 4 live stream on Monday, but my internet was not working. I did not think it was going to be good enough to have a stream, and I thought about, like, okay, will this be good enough to stream? And it looked like it wasn't good enough to stream, so I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it on Friday. Hopefully this podcast will be up on YouTube and all this stuff before then. But yeah, I want to say, hey, I didn't want to watch. I was like, nah, well, I got nothing to do, so I'm going to watch Raw. Because hey, I didn't want to make a crappy live stream. I didn't want to do that. So I just said, you know what? Let me just watch Raw. There was some good stuff in it. I did like Drew McIntyre, that beginning segment. I did have a good laugh with Ricochet. I did like the implosion of the Riot Squad. I think that was good stuff. I think Sarah Logan is Sarah Logan is going to be the real growth of that. I think it's going to be really good for them. I loved the fact that the Street Profits got they finally got all the smoke. They are the Raw Tag Team Champions. I think that's great. And, there was some other stuff that I just, when I look back on, and the Orton stuff too. That was great as well. Even though the crowd was, I don't know what the crowd was doing, man. It just made it so pro Orton and everything. Just, it was terrible. But yeah, there are at least, when you look at it, I was like, wow, I was really impressed by it. And a lot of people are angry and pissed off that, that they're pissed off that, like, so Aleister Black loses to AJ Styles. I'm like, good. I like, as long as it leads into something. I think Aleister Black facing AJ Styles in this no disqualification match leads to something. An undefeated streak is not going to, just doing the undefeated streak is not going to have him win and just sit there. Unless he's going to be going for the world title or United States Championship or whatever, then this is not going to be good. But then what's the point of it? at least with Aleister Black here, you have him facing against AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is not some no fly by night dude. He's not Riddick Moss, which Aleister Black losing to AJ Styles is not going to destroy Aleister Black. AJ Styles and Aleister Black in that no disqualification match, that's going to be fun at Elimination Chamber. And I think those two will have a really good match. And then I wouldn't be surprised if The Undertaker shows up. Heck, honestly, I would rather have Aleister Black versus The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in Mania, because I think that would actually be really good to see. That would be my personal opinion. But yeah, also Kairi Sane is just I like her character now. It's amazing. Sonya Blazer looked pretty good. That sort of stuff. But yeah, there was some good stuff on Raw. But again, there was that lack of look, I don't care about Humberto Carrero. They're trying, but no, I just don't care about him. I don't care about Andrade. Angel Gaza, I mean, yeah, they can make some great moves and to pop the crowd, but I'm just like, what's their characters? When they come out in the arena, it's just, there's no cheers. There's barely any reactions. It's that their characters, the connection to the audience. I feel like they need to have much better ways to actually be really good competitors, and just a really good connection with the crowd. That's what they need to have, better connections with the crowd, because again, you can make great moves, but if you can't connect the crowd in the promo or anything else, if you need to just to do a lot of moves and such. I mean, Rey Mysterio got, sometimes you can do that to really get connections with the crowd, but if I see most wrestlers today do the same thing, but I don't see someone like Humberto Carrero who loses more often not than he wins. But yeah, it reminds me so much of what I look at AEW. They're building babyfaces. It's like Darby Allin, who wins and then sometimes loses, but yeah, he wins. He looks good when he wins. So he wins when it's on the line. Humberto loses when it matters. So unless they start doing that with him, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, I can see why people at WWE are just like, they're done. They don't care. But yeah, I just think if they are smart enough, and that's a big if they are going to do some plans, I hope they do something well for this year's WrestleMania. Hopefully everything, I hope that WrestleMania looks, because at least it'll be so much fun. Hopefully it goes on without the coronavirus, killing us all. But if everything goes according to, if everything in WWE goes according to plan and all that stuff, and the coronavirus doesn't do anything, which I doubt, but I don't think coronavirus is going to be it's not going to think us all, whatever. I think it's been overblown, but that's another podcast for another time. But yeah, yes, I think WWE, if they could do it right, and that's a lot of you gotta give them a lot of rope. They gotta be like, okay, we're giving that bit of a trust thing. And, but you know what? You have to look and say, okay, the people in place, do you trust them to do it? And I'm shaky ground with them. It's a wait and see approach. That's all I'll say. It's wait and see. And I'm hopeful the WWE can do something. But if they don't, I won't be surprised. But I'm not canceling my network subscription anytime soon. Why? After all that time. Again, the back catalog. Unless WWE cancels that back catalog, I'm not giving that up, because again, there's a lot of great stuff back there, and new / old stuff too, and the documentaries are fun as well. So yeah, I'm not going to go crash that quick W. If I am going to do it, if I am going to basically NWE network, I'm not going to make an announcement. I'm not going to say. I'll just say, you know what, I ended it, and that's it. I'm out. That's it. Done. I won't make a screenshot or anything. That sort of thing. That's just me. But yeah, I see a lot of people online doing it. But I get that. You want to prove to people like that, and you're done. But to me, I always say, hey, I don't make a big deal out of it. If I don't want to watch it, I'll just cut it off. Say, boom, I don't care. There it is. That's my personal thing. That's how I feel. But yeah, WWE, the bumpy roads to WrestleMania. I hope that everything work. I think it's gonna work out. Cause hey, it's been a sports thing. Look at what the Washington Nationals are. Okay, the old saying, bumpy roads lead more often than not lead to beautiful places. And this whole WrestleMania, the bumpy roads here, the bumpy roads towards WrestleMania leads to something beautiful. But that's just my personal thing. Want to hear your stuff in the comments below? Let me know. And that's it for the show. I'm pulling. I didn't even know it. Anyway, this is Dukect T here. Peace, love. See y'all when I see y'all. Later.